my bones, 10 pieces all on my own. Try to pretend nothing's falling apart. The skin I grew up in, didn't even care. All in all, wasting my days, trapped in my skull. Feel so alone, but I'm not lonely at all. Do you even wanna take that slow? Won't you give me some space? Well, I just gotta beg to pray. And I'm finally giving. Swear I'm not falling apart. I wait until the sixth season. Didn't even carry on. All in all, wasting my days, trapped in my skull. Feel so alone, but I'm not lonely at all. Do you even wanna take that slow? Won't you give me some space? Well, I just gotta beg to pray. What is wrong with me? Just let me be. I don't know what is wrong with me. Just let me be. Like the checks of history, I have lost my own reality. Take my skin, tear to pieces late again. Waste my time, running around with the thoughts in my mind. Do you even wanna take that slow? Won't you give me some space? Well, I just gotta beg to patiently waiting for the day to come where they fuck us for the rest of our lives. Well, I told you all once, well, I told you all twice that this is the start of our demise. Well, they fill you up with lies, try to twist you up inside, and they always seem to fake a smile. They don't care about our lives, look at us with greedy eyes, we're just profit and denial to them. Hey, well, I've grown tired of this. Hey, repetitive chain of events. Bury me 6 feet underground. Take my hand and send those demons back where they were found. Save us, the body to the ground. Take
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving if you're from the States, and if you're not, I hope you had a good weekend. Gonna cover some quick thoughts today. I tweeted a potential bullish setup just to kind of give thanks, I guess, for all of you that have consistently followed me on Twitter, watched the live streams, stay active in Discord, etc. So, I have the weekly up, and we're going to get to it. I want to talk stocks first. So, big thing first. Let's move our lines stay consistent. Big thing first. So, one, S&P 500, still very much in a downtrend. And this is part of the reason why I actually don't think this bullish setup will work for Bitcoin. And essentially, Bitcoin's bending the knee to stocks in the macroeconomy. I mean, we all know that. We've seen it over the last several months. And we kind of have to accept it. I mean, at the end of the day, Bitcoin TA generally works, but when the S&P 500 and the DXY are showing a lot of bearish tendency or bearish confluence, it's usually a sign that Bitcoin's bullish TA is just a bull trap. First things first. So not a lot of people here today. We only got about 50. But Brandon, nice to see you. Glad you could join us. Yes, sir. Yeah, the song's actually by one of my good friends. He makes music and allows me to use some of his music because it doesn't hit me with a copyright strike on YouTube. So, Mike, the music is down below in the YouTube description. It's Tilley Parker on Spotify, and you can find him on YouTube. So, all right, for the small crowd today, again, appreciate you being here. If you're new, I live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 5 p.m. Eastern. But anyways, S&P, still very much in a downtrend. We've discussed until we really break any of these levels here, we can't even discuss the idea of a trend change. And we haven't broken out yet, so honestly, can't discuss any sort of bullishness. We know that we bounced primarily because our MACD was showing bullish divergences here with lower lows on price and higher lows on RSI. That is essentially why we got this second relief bounce. But again, I'm fully anticipating this area, this 3,200, to at least get touched before we have any sort of upside moving forward. Moving on. VIX, not going to talk much here. For those of you that don't know, the VIX is a kind of a bottom confluent indicator. Kind of tells, damn, I really hate this mic. Like, you have to really play around with it for it to, there we go. It's more of a bottom confluent indicator. We know that the previous bottoms on the weekly, at least you have COVID, 2018 mini recession, 2015 mini recession, obviously of 2008, and then part of the 2000s in here. It's just an area where, okay, maybe we've bottomed if we've hit over the 45-degree mark, especially if we've gone much higher into the 80s or 70s. DXY has bounced exactly where we predicted. And I actually made a comment, not exactly where, because I really thought we'd hold 110, but we're still very much in an uptrend. On top of that, guys, we also have a huge bullish divergence here between these 2 points. I mean, this is as bullish as it gets. We know that we are in a parabolic uptrend really since July 2021, even June of 2020. I'd even argue December, January of 2020. We had this huge double bottom reversal and then go parabolically up from there. So honestly, we haven't had a major pullback. We needed a major pullback to continue upwards. This is perfectly normal. In trends like this, we've discussed comparing with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin went all the way to 40K, we went from 40 all the way down to 28.9. This is a healthy pullback. Although it was a 30% pullback, still a very healthy pullback, and that's why we continued moving from there. So holding this 105 level is still very, very bullish. Realistically, until we lose 102 to maybe this 100 level, I wouldn't consider any sort of bearishness on the DXY. We could still kind of bounce around here before going up. We've discussed that sideways movement pullback, still very, very bullish. Again, lots of bullish indications, RSI and MACD. There's still no signs of bearish divergence up here on the moving averages. Crypto hasn't done anything lately. Well, other than the FTX crash, you're right. Crypto really hasn't moved at all. That's why it's tough to live stream. I mean, really, over the last 6 months, it's been really hard to talk about crypto because you guys all get hyped up when it's, pumping and going crazy. I just give the TA as is. I don't give any bullshit. That's more or less my moral code. But it's tough to get excited when prices continue to go down. But we're very clearly in a bear market, and honestly, we'll be there until the stocks reverse. Total, you guys know from last week we discussed this idea of a bear flag here, ultimately breaking down, kind of holding this horizontal support. To be honest, this looks like consolidation before another leg down, more than likely to 541. You can kind of see some confluence at these levels, some kind of struggle to get back up. So 541, could it be the bottom? Possibly. We won't really know until we get there, but I'd say 400 or at least total makes sense for a bottom. Lots more confluence, major support, and timeline-wise, I think that gives enough time and space for stocks to correct another 30% from where we are right now. Moving on to Tether, still kind of sitting in resistance again, still looking very bullish. This is not a double top. We've already discussed why it is not a double top. It is not a double top, so I'm not expecting any sort of reversal. To be honest, once we break this area, you're looking at full-blown, the price discovery here, but bearishness on Bitcoin and alts. Again, I'm not predicting or giving a bottom target for Bitcoin. I've started buying already. I do believe we are towards the end, or at least the middle of the bear market, maybe middle-ish, between the middle and the end, right? Ultimately, we're waiting for stocks and the macro economy to absolutely shit itself. I mean, that's what's going to really wipe the floor clean, not only for crypto, but all these over-leveraged companies in the United States. And once that happens, that's when we got to reset. That's when we bottom. And really, until we get there, stop trying to predict crypto bottoms. It doesn't matter what price Bitcoin is. It matters what's happening within the stock market in the macro economy. I'm going to say this probably over the next several weeks, right? It does not matter if Bitcoin's 12K, 6K, 3K, 20K, whatever. It does not matter until stocks ultimately crash. Does it make sense to go short against USDT because of the constant depeg? I don't know where people... I don't know why people keep talking about USDT FUD. Guys, USDT is not going anywhere. There's all these accounts that are getting engaged. You have to remember, okay, we're in a bear market. So any negative posts get a lot more attention than bullish posts, more or less, unless it's like some ridiculous bullish post. So if you have bearish posts and you talk about FUD and USDT is going to crash, people get worried, they get emotional, they click on it, they ask questions, their friends click on it, they go to YouTube, they go to Twitter, and they look for answers, right? Same thing in a bull market. Like when we were at 50 to 60K, people were clicking on all the Bitcoin posts to 400K to 100K, all the altcoins to 100X from here, XYZ, LMNOP. Guys, you're doing the same thing that people did in the bull market when we were topping out, which is, again, a big reason why I believe that we're at least somewhere in the realm of establishing a bottom or near a bottom. And it could be 50% from where we are. I think time frame-wise, we're nearing a bottom. I think the stocks are going to crash pretty hard post-Christmas. Your Santa rally already happened. For those of you that don't know, I'm back to the S&P 500. This is your Santa rally, right? People are expecting from Christmas moving forward that we're going to keep moving up, and I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. I need to see unemployment start going up first. I think it's going to be the credit. I think it's going to be a credit card debacle. I don't think unemployment is really going to play a big role here. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but ultimately what it'll be is the credit crash. I think we'll have, and you guys have seen credit card usage up 50% over the last 3 months, right? People are buying things with money they don't have, and that's ultimately what causes a systematic financial crash. So what we're waiting for ultimately is stocks to crash. I mean, that's what's going to cause it. You have to remember, crypto really doesn't have a huge use case yet. We're still in the early stages. We're still trying to get it out. I mean, it really wasn't until 2016, 2017 where people started taking it seriously. So realistically, crypto is probably about 5-6 years old. I know it's a lot older than that, but I'm talking about where people are starting to look at it as something that can be used in the real world. Because prior to that, it was more or less okay, we're going to use it for Silk Road. Okay, maybe it has some use case. You have the crazy people that think this and that. You've got a lot of people that just trade it because they can make money off of it. But now I think you have companies and individuals that are developing systems. I mean, you have the whole medical system that's using blockchain for medical data and transferring your medical data between different hospitals. You have Link that uses blockchain data for the weather. So, I know there's a lot of other use cases. There's a lot of other potential use cases, but it's still pretty young, and it's still, you have to remember, money needs to be put into these projects, into crypto, to figure out its use case. And I mean money as in like institutional, like research money. I'm talking billions, millions, and billions of dollars. I don't mean your average person that's trading with 20 to 50K. I'm talking about millions to billions of dollars needs to be put into crypto, into not only crypto, but systems and analysis and teams and other entities, just to figure out, okay, if we can take Bitcoin or take Link or take Matic, what can we do with this? Can we do XYZ? How is this used differently from what we're currently doing? And you also have to remember, the United States is like a big corporation, and corporations move unbelievably slow. Used to work for one. In order to get a new process in place, in order to start something new, it would take 6 to 12 months, and this is something people could learn in a week. This is going to move slow. Ultimately, I mean, the United States, China, Russia, doesn't matter. Your biggest countries are going to move slow. Humans don't like change, and this is going to move slow. This is probably going to take 10 to 20 years to really get into play. So could Bitcoin one day be $1 million? Maybe. Could it never be used? Certainly possible. But when the United States government owns between 50 and 100,000 Bitcoin, I'm putting my bets on that for sure. You think next cycle all-time high, or this time it will be different? I don't answer those kind of questions, man. I'm not a genie or a fortune teller. Like, I'm telling you that I'll give you this. I think most people that were under the age of 18 that did not get a chance to invest during the COVID bubble, because COVID was a ginormous bubble. If you haven't noticed that yet, it was literally fake money pumped into every single market to pump the price of everything. That's why COVID is here. That's why I think, I'm not saying someone created COVID to create this bubble, but I'm saying that people took advantage of it and absolutely blew up markets and over-leveraged companies and everything. Regardless, I think there's a newer generation of younger people that are going to come out, or that are coming out of college, going into college, whatever, that kind of age, that are going to have money. They're going to be ready to invest. They're going to be more financially intelligent. And I think that money is going to be pumped into not only stocks, but especially crypto. I think a lot of these people have heard of, maybe they heard of Bitcoin when it was 3 to 6K, or, maybe they're at Thanksgiving when they were 12 years old and heard people talking about, oh my God, Bitcoin's at 20K, and then went it back down to 3K, and then went all the way to 70K. So they see that. And they're going to see this whole shit show that's happening right now in the bear market. And they're going to say, wait, Bitcoin went from 20 to 3K. That was about an 85% correction. Bitcoin went from 70K to now 16, 12, 9, whatever. And they're going to say that was an 80 to 90% correction. And they're going to put two and two together and they're going to buy. Whether it's stocks, crypto, whatever, they're more financially intelligent. There's way more data now. There's way more data that your average person, like literally, you could go in and learn things about uptrends, downtrends, whatever. You could draw simple lines and use simple moving averages, and you could definitely beat the market. Like, and I don't mean beat the market on a daily basis. I mean beat the market in a term of a macro, essentially a macro view, right? The Luna event occurred with a TA critical point. No, I think people associate events with what happens in the charts, honestly. We all knew Luna was a scam. If you didn't know Luna was a scam, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it was so blatantly obvious. With FTX, I don't want to say it was blatantly obvious, but it was pretty obvious. I told people in my Discord, don't use FTX. There's a reason why I'm not affiliated with FTX. I got plenty of offers to be. There's a reason why I affiliated myself with BitGet. I fully believe that they are the exchange to go to, at least the newer exchange. Not only are they backed, they have an emergency fund. Regardless of that, they're also getting validated or verified within the SEC. If you didn't know, that process takes about 8-9 months. Should be okay next year. Regardless, FTX. One, you have a CEO that literally shakes. Like, imagine if I was giving you TA data and I was like this, right? Nonstop, shaking, acting crazy. I don't know why. I think my camera's a little fuzzy. Don't know. I'm getting a new monitor, so thank God for that. But anyways, moving on. FTX CEO shaking. They, Alameda's doing all this crazy shit in the market with all these scam wicks. I mean, you guys go back in time here, and Alameda was essentially the reason for this, for all of this, for this, all of these quick moves up and down. That's Alameda. That's Alameda controlling the market, liquidating people, taking their money, probably making money with whatever they're doing. Notice how now that they're gone, we've been stable. We've been following TA. We've been following support and resistance that have been there, historical precedents. I mean, when Alameda, and essentially you're looking at, everything moving forward. There were so many times, and I've never seen this much, where you have breaks above support and resistance areas that were very, very consistent. I mean, look at this consistency here, but somehow we break above and then immediately nuke. I mean, so many. Especially with your more bearish setups, they would scam upwards and then immediately retrace to the downside. And that was all Alameda, and now they're gone. And the whole reason I bring that up is we knew Alameda and FTX were linked. We knew that they were the market maker for FTX. And on top of that, you had interviews with Caroline, who was saying she doesn't care for risk management. She doesn't use stop losses. I mean, all of the evidence was there to say, okay, this is a weird group of people, and I don't want my money there. And on top of that, guys, they would stop trading during volatile times, right? Like, they would just immediately say, oh, you can't place trades, there's too much volatility in the market. When every other major brokerage or major exchange was able to trade. You were able to trade on Bitkit, you were able to trade on Binance, you were able to trade on Kraken, you were able to trade on Coinbase. Now, granted, I know Coinbase got rid of Coinbase Pro, but you're still able to trade on Coinbase. It was amazing to me that people were so shocked of what happened. I mean, all the signs and signals are there. I mean, you guys have to pay attention to your surroundings and say, hey, when all of these things are happening at one time, does this seem a little weird, right? Everyone's waiting for Bitcoin at 12 to 10K. I mean, that's the point. And guys, everyone was waiting for 100K. And I'm going to do this again, and I've done it the last couple weeks. Guys, we'll pull out the macro time efficient chart in log view so we can see. So essentially, and I'm just going to use this current market just because it makes a little bit more sense in the relevance of a lot of the newer people that are here, or even myself, because this was the first big bull market that I capitalized on. You guys know I've been around since 2017, essentially bought the top, took a small loss and then tried to trade, took even heavier losses, trying to learn how to trade, yada, 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 bought somewhat here, bought the COVID, bought here, sold here. Aside from that, moving on. When Bitcoin was between 55 and 65K, especially in this area, again, I fully believe this is Alameda. I don't believe that this was supposed to happen. And if you made money off it, that's great. I would have made a lot of money off of it if I would have held my long, which I initially purchased actually at $41,077, which I'm more than willing to post if people don't believe it. But anyways, because there's a nice double bottom here. Everyone was bullish here. Everyone was saying Bitcoin to 100K. Bitcoin's going to break 64,000, especially in this zone. Bitcoin's going to break 64,000. Bitcoin's going to do this. Bitcoin's going to do that. And then we crashed, and everyone blamed it on Elon Musk, right? When there's the fattest head and shoulders with the least reliable volume to continue going up, right? There was nothing at all that suggested this is going to continue. We'd also done a 20x from the bottom. I mean, if you just think like a normal person, does it make sense for this asset to continue higher, especially when volume is going down as price is going up. I mean, at that point, everyone was euphoric. Everyone was saying, I'm making so much money on my Bitcoin. I'm going to make, not only have I made so much, I'm going to continue making so much, and I'm going to change my life moving forward. And then we topped out, and then we nuked, and all those people that ran their mouths lost all their money, or lost 50% of their money, or even all of it because they were using leverage, right? So my point is, everyone's bullish here, right? Everyone. And I mean everyone was bullish there. Now everyone's bearish here, even here. Everyone is bearish. So we square this. Everyone is bearish. Everyone is bullish here. So if everyone's bullish here and everyone's bearish here, do you see a trend of what's happening, right? Do you see a trend? Oh, I'm still in this. Gotta leave that. Excuse me. Do you see a trend that's happening here, right? And I'm not saying using everyone as a trading signal is what you should do, but if we also look at Bitcoin's past, right? Bitcoin generally goes down about 80 to 90% to mark the bottom. If we go back to, unfortunately, the Bitstamp chart is the only one with Bitcoin's entire livelihood. Why isn't it letting me show the whole thing? That's kind of lame. I don't know what's wrong with TradingView today, but we'll go through it like this. So essentially, you know, top in 2013 all the way to bottom 2015, 87%. Top in 2017, bottom 2018, 84%. Top in, I like to use this top, but for keepsake, we'll use this top, 69 to current, or even the low, which is 77%. Okay, 77%. So we've talked about 80 to 90% being that kind of tipping point. Now, everyone and their mother is bearish. There are people saying that Bitcoin is going to zero. Guys, the United States government owns between 50 and 100,000 Bitcoin. Do you really believe that that entity that literally is the biggest profit horse on the planet and only cares about making money is going to let their Bitcoin go to zero? Russia and China also own Bitcoin. Do you think that those two entities are going to let their Bitcoin go to zero? Today, Fidelity Investments opened their crypto, or at least, you know, I'm on the list, the early access list, but they're going to allow their customers to start using their platform as a crypto exchange. Okay? There are bigger and better things happening in this space than just the FTX crash. And what people are so blindsided by is all this FUD and all this bullshit because it gets so much attention. You got the crypto whale, and I have no idea how he's back on Twitter. That guy is a literal scumbag. All right? And I thought to have respect for him, but then I learned a lot about him, and he's a complete scumbag. Please unfollow that guy. He is the biggest fudder, and I'm telling you right now, he was bearish all throughout here, shorted all the way up here, and probably lost everything. Or just, you know, he only makes money off his newsletter or whatever. Yeah, I also agree. The 69K was done by Alameda. It just made no sense. Like, I mean, you look at the weekly here, right? And I mean, how on earth, out of Bitcoin's entire lifetime, the largest, like the all-time highs had some of the largest spikes in volume. Now, granted, this volume is going to drop over time. And I do want to know that, I want you guys to know this is all wash trading. Please ignore the volume here. That is complete wash trading. If you guys haven't noticed of these zero spot fees on many exchanges, that's wash trading. Regardless, how the hell are you going to make another all-time high with this volume when we've seen spikes and laddering volume? I mean, great inclinations of volume here on every single exchange, right? Every single exchange. It just doesn't make any sense. So for me, I thought it was Alameda. It just made no sense. And I know I complained the whole way up. You guys can go back in the tweets and find out. Oh, Roman, he probably shorted all this. Guys, I didn't start shorting until like January 2022. So like last year. I started shorting like here. I'd never shorted in this market. Never found a reason to. I'm also very, very bullish on crypto long term. So why am I shorting an asset I'm bullish on? And you could say, oh, because you could make more money doing XYZ. Okay, that's great, but I'm not greedy, and I've made a lot of money. I don't need to stare at this 24/7 like some of you degenerates. But you're more than happy to do it. I mean, there's even people joining chat now and saying the next top will be 32K. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about, right? None. Zero. Okay, because I can guarantee you that crypto has been through far worse than what's happened this year, right? Like, you're talking about crypto not even being known to a percent of the population when it was trading in 2013, 14, and 15. And now, probably the entire US, if not a good portion of the world, knows about crypto or has some kind of understanding or looks at it or does something. Or they've heard of it, right? Or, they have access to it now. That's the biggest thing, is access. Everyone in the world has access if you have a phone or a computer and internet, except for maybe China, because they're restricted, and North Korea. But my whole point is, it's mainstream, it's popular, it's available, right? Saying that it's topped, it's going to zero, yada yada this, blah 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 that. You have no idea what you're talking about, all right? And you need to really reevaluate before you get absolutely burned and miss possibly the largest bull market, not only for crypto but of every asset. Guys, there's so much cash on the sidelines, at least in the United States, that when shit gets bought, it's going to get bought up very, very quick. I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot of rich people that are buying crypto. I know a lot of people that are my dad's age, right? My dad's age is 50 to 60, maybe even 70 years old. That age group. I'd say 45 to 65, that age group, that you'd think wouldn't give a damn about crypto, right? I mean, I know of people, not even know of, they've asked me how they get involved. They're like, Bitcoin's at 16K, I kind of want to buy some. How do I do this? And these are people that own companies. These are people that make millions of dollars every year, right? These are people that used to work and be CEOs or CFOs or presidents of whatever, presidents of Kellogg's, presidents of Kroger, big companies that make a ton of money. And okay, so you're like, oh, Roman, that's just a couple of people that are friends with your dad. Okay, well, do you really think that that's just that couple of people? Because I guarantee that age group is talking about it. They're saying, okay, how can we take advantage of this? They're in cash. They're going to have so much, they have so much cash on the sidelines. Like, I know my dad personally has all of his money in bonds right now. I mean, he's making like 2 to 3% a year, not all of it, but a big portion of his investment portfolio is in bonds. Making 2 to 3% because he's waiting to buy, whether it be real estate, crypto stocks, whatever he can get his hands on over the next year or so. Like, you're an absolute imbecile if you think that Bitcoin's going to zero, stocks are going to zero, the bubble is over, whatever. Because you open up Twitter, right? You open up Twitter and you always get that one crazy text message, and it's like, or not text, sorry. Text message, that Twitter message, it's like, oh, everything's topped, wait till Apple goes to zero. Do you honestly believe Apple's going to zero? Honestly. Apple's one of the largest companies on the planet, and they have a ton of liquid cash. They're not going anywhere. Is there a reason why I don't trade Forex? I mean, I could, but I mean, part of the reason for me is like I'll just be like straight up honest. Like, I really like to swing trade Bitcoin. I like it partially because it generally follows the rules of TA pretty cleanly, precisely. On top of that, like, swing trading allows me to have freedom. And like, I'm not staring, guys, I don't stare at a chart 24/7. I look at a chart like once or twice a day, like when I wake up and go to sleep. Unless I'm live streaming or hosting a class. I hardly watch this shit. I always know what's happening. I always have a good macro to daily, like a weekly to daily view. Because you have to remember, the daily chart doesn't change on a hourly basis. It changes on a daily basis. Like, this is here are the 3 charts I look at. Ready? I look at this one. Okay. And there's, 6 candles in a day. So I can check it max 6 times. There's this one. Okay. Daily. Changes daily. And then a weekly, which changes once a week. That's literally all I do. I don't look at all these other altcoins because I don't care. right? I don't look at altcoins because they're literally, and I'm going to say this one last time, they are literally pump and dump schemes. Most of them. I'm not going to say all of them, but most of them. And they don't follow the rules of TA, especially in a bear market. I will pay attention to them when we get into the bull market, especially when Bitcoin's topping out. I will not throw it all, but I will definitely be quote unquote gambling in altcoins because essentially you're just buying ones that haven't pumped yet, letting them pump, taking it out, repeat. That's literally how you trade the bull market. You buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, hold Ethereum because Ethereum essentially marks the top, especially for altcoins, and it generally pumps harder than Bitcoin. You hold those, sell your Bitcoin, take some of your Bitcoin profits, throw them in, Sol, Doge, ADA, Asscoin, Shitcoin, like whatever coin, right? Whatever the hell that hasn't pumped 20, 50, 100x yet. And then you take those profits and keep recycling them in other coins. And maybe you win some, maybe you lose some, but you should be winning a lot because these altcoins literally just explode for no reason sometimes. Would I buy real gold? No. I have real gold around my neck, and that's all the gold I'm going to own. Yeah, and like back to the Forex thing, like I don't trade Forex because like I like the freedom. I like, like living my life. I'm not a greedy person. Like I enjoy, like I have enough, like I'm in my mid-20s and I have more money than all of my friends and maybe even one of their parents combined. Like I'm not worried about money right now. I have plenty of time to make a lot of money and I can do it in a way where I can go fishing with my grandpa or go fishing with my dad or go fuck off with my dog. Like I can go live life. But guys, life is about living. And if you haven't figured that out yet, you're living wrong. Okay, I don't sit here with my forehead on a screen watching this all day, right? Like I go live your lives, go do things. Stop staring at charts. Like if you work a 9 to 5, that's okay, but like don't come home from your 9 to 5 and stare at a chart from 5:30 to when you go to bed because you're wasting your time. Day trading in this market, one, doesn't really work, and two, it's just a waste of time. But that's like the big thing for me and why I don't like trade Forex or like I've thought about stocks like. Maybe options. But again, like, I don't need to do that. If I, like I run a trading class, I do the live streams, I am active in my Discord, I'm working with Bickett to get them SEC approved. I also work for a private equity, which will start in December. Yes, it's not a 9 to 5. It's literally me just doing my trading strategy for money within a private equity fund. Woohoo. But anyways, I do other things and, most of my day isn't eaten up. I go to the gym. So it's not like I'm just sitting around my house, slapping my wiener around. Like, that's not what I do. Like, I do other things. I've got other stuff going on. So like, I don't really, and the thing is with Forex trading, you kind of have to like do it and keep going because you're essentially making lots of trades over time and becoming profitable over time, right? Because let's say your hit rate is 50%, so you win 50%, lose 50%, but with good risk management, you're obviously winning more than you're losing. Like, I'd have to place 10 trades a day to be consistently profitable. And like, I just don't feel like doing that. Nice gold chain. I'm not even wearing it right now, bro. Right, Bitcoin TA. So I'm only really going to mess with the weekly and the 4-hour today because the weekly really relates to the daily. So I've been telling people a lot for a good amount of time. This is a bear flag. This is a breakdown. This is horizontal support. We have not only broken down through our bear flag, we have lost horizontal support, and we are consolidating. So ultimately, we have a very, very bearish structure here. Yes, it's validated by volume, but again, I don't know if this volume is accurate because we know it's been, wash traded. Moving forward, 4-hour. I posted this setup on Thanksgiving. Just gonna talk about it a little bit. I was predicting or had a prediction of a inverted head and shoulders here, which is still very, very possible in my opinion. Your neckline would be. We're just going to use a straight line just to keep it precise. Your neckline's about 16.8. So any break above 16.8, if we get one of these, that completes the inverted head and shoulders. Probably going to breakout retest, hit this zone, which again on the weekly would be a nice retest before going lower. That's what I think would happen or what would make sense. But I don't know if this plays out. And we talked about earlier, stocks looking bearish, DXY looking bullish. So why would Bitcoin do something bullish when the macro, and we know that Bitcoin is bending the knee to the macro is ultimately bearish. But that's all I got for today. I will be live streaming on Wednesday again. It's winter time. There's nothing to do here. I will be keeping that consistent schedule. For all you new people, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, be here. We do this whole TA, answer questions. Hopefully you keep watching during the bear market. It's going to get really, really boring. I will be sharing, possibly sharing trade setups if that becomes the case, or if there's something that's very obvious. But for now, guys, please be safe. If you're worried about your funds on an exchange, take them off. Use a ledger. I actually just bought a ledger a couple days ago. It came today. I put 30 Ethereum, 2 Bitcoin on it. Going to continue adding to that over time. But that's where my DCA is. So in 4 to 5 years, when I cash out on that, hopefully it's a lot more than it is now. We'll see. I'm not trying to be the guy that's like, oh, Bitcoin's going to go to 100K and I'm going to, no. Okay, I'm going to be realistic. But anyways, be patient, use risk management. Good luck trading.